Ladies and gentlemen, Sidestrafe back with some more War Thunder Ground Forces. Now this is, of course, the closed beta test, so please keep in mind that everything you see here is subject to change. But right off the bat, we're going to take a quick look at the KV-1 and then transition into the T-34 Model 1941. But right now you can see that we've got a friendly KV-1 trying to pass us. I'm like, you know what, you go ahead, buddy. Doesn't seem to matter though, because I'm still taking fire. One shot off the frontal armor, another shot off the front, but thankfully I'm angled and able to stop those rounds. And we've got another vehicle moving top right. I'm thinking maybe I can reposition myself, as I've got two vehicles moving in front of me. Perhaps they're drawing the enemy's attention. So as I move in here, I've got a lot of foliage in the way, some smoke out in the distance. We see one target who's been spotted. He's moving up. We fire. That's a hit. Track damage. I don't think they're too thrilled with me right now. As you can see, return fire. I take a lot of damage. And one more to finish it off. So why did I show you that KV-1 quick destruction? Mostly to prove a point. This is a much different game. Hit points are not here to save you. So let's go ahead and take a look at some gameplay with the T-34. This is the Model 1941 and a truly iconic tank. When it first made its appearance in World War II, it absolutely shocked the Germans with its potent armor and firepower. You can see that this beast is extremely sloped. That turret was very cramped for its commander and gunner, but of course it did provide a lot of protection. But in this gameplay, you're going to see a lot of incoming fire, and you're going to see how it reacts to hitting this sloped armor, and how angling is going to make a huge difference when it comes down to survival. Also, while we're looking at this, please pay attention to the sounds and the visuals. You can see right off the bat with this incoming fire, you got planes firing from above. You got some smoke and debris on the ground here. Look at those hits. You can see we're already taking some damage. Suspension hit. More fire. Looks like 20 millimeter inbound. Let's have a listen. Now that was a single shot. Possibly 45 millimeter from a T-70 light tank. No idea. But I'm just scanning for targets here. We do see something light up on the right, which I eventually have a look at. But as you can see, there's a little X there with a damage indicator on it. That's something that probably won't exist in the more realistic gameplay modes. And they're not really sure if they're going to keep that even for the final release in arcade mode. But for now, it's there, along with a internal component identifier. Once you hit a target, it kind of shows you an outline of some of the internal modules. I do believe that that will be completely removed from any final version. I think it's just in for testing purposes. But right now we're going to take some time to enjoy the countryside. We're going to show you some speed here as we go downhill and transition into what I wanted to be a flanking maneuver. This was one of my first gameplay sessions in the T-34, and I was still new to the map, so it was also a matter of exploration. Speaking of maps, I really can't wait to see what they have in store for us. I'm looking forward to seeing how they've converted or upgraded pre-existing Air Force maps. A lot of the terrain that they add to cater towards ground forces is already looking fantastic, as from what we can see here. But right up at the front, Flak Panzer. One shot, one kill. Very lightly armored target. Most of the crew is exposed except for the driver, but even he has very little protection. That vehicle, of course, designed to take out aircraft primarily, does not stand a chance against my main gun. You can imagine it just ripping through that crew. Now, currently they haven't modeled any actual crew for the exterior, but I believe that is something that will come in eventually. And on top of that, you should have working machine guns. So you should have a bow gun or a turret gun, depending on your tank chassis, which you can then use to pepper crew that are perhaps exposed on vehicles like the Flak Panzer. So therefore, you can just take out the crew immediately and not even really have to worry about spending primary ammunition. Enemy aircraft fire from above. can see lower left-hand corner, suspension and track damage once again. Shot from the front. I decide to back up and say hello to this little tree here. I was saving his life, telling him to get out of the way. Now, as far as trees are concerned, I think you can run over the smaller ones, but the big ones, they will remain, unless they're hit with the right amount of firepower. Kind of like this. Although I'm sure that plane, thinking it was a good idea to shake hands with the trees, didn't help much either. You can see that part of his wing was in front of us there, and a brilliant fire there. More aircraft fire from above. Fortunately, my armor is holding against these biplanes. Not really a huge threat unless they decide to drop bombs on you. See, we kind of slide down this hill here. Keep in mind, vehicle physics are still being worked on. They have improved a great deal since the last patch, though. Another target up front. Flak Panzer, once again, down to a single shot. Absolutely no protection. Taking some more time to scan for targets. You can see we've got a couple out in the distance, but they appear to be behind cover as spotted by Allied vehicles. You can see us using some secondary zoom here to make sure. But as I move out, I have to stress the importance of being patient in a game like this. This is arcade mode, so you can afford to be a little bit more aggressive, but you don't want to build bad habits that will carry over into the more realistic gameplay modes. Here we have what looks to be another T-34. He's not paying attention until now. I take one shot and get hit in return, but it doesn't look like anything too crazy as we have a friendly plane strafing in. At this point, I'm kind of hoping that maybe he's distracted by that plane or some other vehicle, and I'm looking to get another peekaboo shot. Unfortunately, aiming in this game isn't as simple as it would seem. I take a lot of crew damage there, as you can see by the lower left-hand corner display. And now my reload time is suffering because of that foolish mistake. So again, as I was saying, you probably want to be a little bit more patient and relocate to flank the enemy. In this case, I was hoping for a distraction, but it didn't really work out. Now I'm thinking, let's stay put. Hopefully the enemy will come to me and we can get a good shot on an exposed area. The problem at this point, however, is that if we look at the mini-map, we can see that I am deep within enemy territory, and we've got a couple of targets moving up, including a KV-1, which is something that I wasn't looking forward to running into. And my crew is wounded. My reload time is horrible. We've also got another Panzer IV Auf C joining the fray, and it looks like he's going for some sort of charge. Artillery inbound as well. As you can see, a hit there, and it lights up his internal modules. Again, a feature that I believe will be removed at a later date. He is managing to flip my tank around, which is exposing my side and rear armor to the enemy. So, as a distraction, it has worked. Artillery takes him out, but it looks like it was his own artillery. You see, we got some red on red to the right hand. Got a Panzer II Auf C, letting me have it with 20mm. Flak Panzer II, more 20mm on the left, and that KV-1 is bearing down on me. We've got some engine, suspension, and track damage. I'm in terrible shape, and look at my reload time. It's absolutely horrible at this point. 20mm, not doing a whole lot, but it is distracting me. That KV, I think, missed a little bit of collision here. You can see it's a bit funky. They are working on some of that. And more hits. One hit on the KV, but it was towards the turret, so not doing a whole lot. I can't move very well because the engine is messed up, and now I'm on fire. That is it, ladies and gentlemen, for my T-34 Model 1941 run. I have to say, not a bad little mission there. I was able to take out 2 Flak Panzers, a Panzer II, and assist in the destruction of a Panzer IV. The KV-1 was, of course, the big issue, but I was already so damaged and wounded going in that I didn't really stand a chance anyway. But, you know, he was able to get a shot into my engine compartment, set me on fire, and I really just couldn't maneuver very well because my driver was wounded and the engine had taken a hit. So trying to reverse and spin around and use my front armor for protection just wasn't happening. Also, aiming shots at that range isn't super simple either. The aiming mechanic, the elevation and depression of the main gun isn't like it is in World of Tanks. There's more of a lag or delay to it when you're moving it up and down, so you really do need to adjust your mouse sensitivity to get it just right. But it's all part of the learning curve, and I do believe that there are some adjustments that can be made within the weapons loadout screen, which I'm going to switch over to right now, so you can go ahead and take a look at that. So one of the main benefits to War Thunder, for me at least, even when we're talking about air forces, is that your plane or tank is already equipped with the gun that it's going to have for the rest of its life. It's not very grindy. You feel like you can get the job done right off the bat. You can get different ammunition types, which may provide benefits later on, but for me, your standard issue armor-piercing round is usually going to get the job done, and especially when you're not having to deal with some sort of hit point system. Now, feel free to go ahead and pause the video at these sections if you want to read some of these descriptions. I was just taking some time to highlight some of these areas so that everybody could see what they're about and get an idea of what other tanks might provide. I'm not 100% familiar with everything that's here. I don't really know how all of these features work, but it is something that I plan to dissect over time. The one thing I didn't really focus on in this video is, of course, crew skills and upgrades, because I'm still trying to learn a lot of that myself. And again, I'm sure that that could be its own video. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed this look at War Thunder Ground Forces. This is, of course, the closed beta test, and as I keep saying, everything is subject to change. There's a lot of improvements that are being made over time, and as of a few patches ago, the tank handling is actually even a lot better than what you've seen in this video. But with that said, thank you so very much for joining me. I will definitely see you on the next one.